Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CEO show. I'm your host, Dan. This is the show that you will always look up to and always look forward to. And it will always be coming to you live every Tuesday, same time up to 9. And today we are so delighted to have you as our viewer. Before you proceed, always ensure that you drop a comment for us to know that you're watching and also to keep this conversation going, because at the end of the day your conversation is what we are looking forward to. And don't forget to share for somebody to know that you're watching and also for them to be part of this amazing show. Don't forget to tag 1, 2, 3 people. We are coming to you live on Facebook and also we are on YouTube. You can go there. Please ensure that you join, subscribe, like, and always share, because the more we grow with you. And that is always what we are looking forward to. Tonight, we are so delighted to have one of the amazing person in the health industry. This is the interview that we've been always asking for. And as the CEO show, we are looking forward to bring you notable personalities in the business industry. People are going to educate you, people are going to bring inspiration and also to bring great insights. And at the end of the day, you'll always be inspired, you'll always be incited. And at the end of the day, you also are going to receive great information. By the way, how do you feel to host your former employer? That is the feeling that I'm feeling tonight. It is going to be a very amazing show. And at the end of the day, we are going to be inspired. Our guest tonight is none other than Mrs. Lele. This is a lady who has proven that what a man can do, also a woman can do. And not forgetting that behind a successful man, there is always a woman. In St. Luke's Hospital, you won't miss her name. In different places, in church and also in the society. She is a mother, she's a grandmother, and also a mentor to many. Mrs. Lele, karibu sana.
Thank you.
And tonight we are so inspired to host you, and also it is quite a privilege and honor to have you, because at the end of the day there are a lot of young men and women, and especially women, who are looking up to you and what you do, and you wear a lot of let me crowns, if I can say. You are a mother, you are a business leader, and you run a lot of things. What is it that you are running?
Thank you, Dan. My name is Mrs. Mary Lele, and I love the Lord as my personal savior. And I think that's the driving force behind the success of St. Luke's and many other things that we do as a family. I want to say I am not the CEO of St. Luke's, I'm the deputy CEO.
Yeah.
The CEO is Professor Lele.
Yes.
And I want to say the dream of St. Luke's is actually a dream of Professor Lele. We have helped him to come up with that dream. I was born in Nandi County so many years ago. Went to school, in primary school in Nandi, up to class 3. And in those days when I was growing up, girls did not go to school up to high school. Many of them dropped out in class 3. Why? They joined school when they were 15. So
15 years.
15 years, by the time they're in class 3, they are ready to get married. So many of them dropped out, and my father saw that and realized that we may not really be able to succeed with that kind of environment. So when I was 10 years old, my father took me to boarding school in Tarbo, Holy Rosary Primary. And from there, from Holy Rosary, I passed my exams, joined Boy Girls High School, Eldoret. And that's briefly about me.
Okay.
As growing up in my time, we enjoyed nature. I think most of the children that are born these days get toys ready-made. We made our own toys. We made our own dolls out of maize cobs. We made balls for the boys out of leaves and plastics. And we enjoyed. We did not realize that we had a problem. There were no shoes. We didn't have shoes. We only had shoes when we were going to high school for many people. And the family children shared one blanket. It's only when I went to boarding school that I realized blankets are supposed to be placed vertically in a bed.
mpaka high school au umekutana na blanket?
No, the blanket was one. One blanket, and then you have 4 children. So it was always placed horizontally.
Oh, okay.
To cater for all the children.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we slept on the floor. There was no bed.
Okay.
So we kept pulling the blanket, and in the morning you wake up when you are at the door. Because you keep rolling in the night. Now, when I went to boarding school, to contain yourself on a bed was a big problem. You kept falling because we are not used to being confined in a bed. That was fun. And I want to say that my parents were very good people. They brought us morally upright children. We went to Sunday school. We went to church. And so given that environment where there was early marriage for many girls, I want to show gratitude for my parents because they really kept us on the path. It was not easy for girls to go to high school at that time. They would be married off. And that was it. For the boys, they would drop out of class 7, go and look after cows, and that is it. So the environment then was not easy for somebody to go through school successfully. But I'm grateful my parents did that.
So we can say that your parents, especially your dad,
Yes,
had known the importance of education at that point in life.
yes, and I want to inspire men, especially if you want to bring up strong girls, then you have to be strong as a dad.
Okay.
I think the strength I have as a lady, I attribute it to my father.
Just to come in, you are born in a family, you are only girls.
No, we were 4 boys, 3 girls. But for the girl child, to be strong in life and to be a strong leader, possibly like me, I attribute it to my father. So if you see any strong lady, you know they had a strong father. Yes.
So we can say, because at the end of the day, people believe that you are a very bold lady.
Yes.
Can we attribute that to your dad?
Yes. My father did not take no for an answer. If he sends you to the shops and you tell him that I was not able to get the change, he said, why did you ask? Yes, so why would somebody cheat you? You must count your change and realize that you have not been cheated.
In a quick flip, how can you relate now with the current parenting, especially for current fathers, the current generation?
Now, I think for the current parents, there is a lot of bribery. We bribe our children. Please do this and then I'll do this for you. If you do this, Daddy, I'll buy you a car. Why do you have to tell them you were going to buy them? That is responsibility. Teach them to be responsible on their own. Yes.
So the issue of bribery and corruption that we have in the country, can we attribute it the same?
Yes, it's
that
upbringing.
we are starting corruption from as young as our children are.
Yes, upbringing. Because you see, during my time when you were growing up, if you picked some eggs from somebody's stray hen and brought them home, you will have to take them back. But I think for the current generation, it is I have gotten myself a prize, and that is it. That one belongs to me. You go ahead, nobody asks. During my time, if you went to school and came back with 3 shirts and you had gone to school with 2, you'll be beaten for having a 3rd shirt. Where did you get it from?
It becomes an issue.
It becomes an issue, yes.
Of which we are lacking in the current times.
Yes, I think now if you look at the way children even cheat in exams, the children did not start cheating in exams. It is the parents who started, and then they were helped by the teachers. So we are in a cheating community. Yes.
Where cheating is a circle.
Cheating is a good thing. You cheat your way into anything. Even forge your documents to read. You are 20 when you are 25.
And does it compromise the professionalism in our current times?
Yes. It has compromised. Now, I will want to say how I transited now from after high school, went to college, and then from college I was posted as a high school teacher. And I taught in 3 schools. I taught in Lelmoko High School in Nandi. That was my first posting.
Okay.
And then from there I went to Singore Girls High School in Elgeyo Marakwet.
In Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Yes, and then I came to Moi Girls High School, Eldoret. That was my last session, and I taught there for 22 years. And chose to retire to do business
Okay.
2012.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was voluntarily retirement.
Yes.
Okay.
When our business came up, I realized, like they say, you cannot have two masters.
Very true. Very true.
One will fail.
Yeah.
So I decided, why don't I leave the government employment? Because the government can replace me, but I cannot replace my business.
Very true.
Yes, I can only do it myself. I cannot allow somebody else to do it.
Okay.
So you are asking, how did I get into business? Of course, I said this was Lele's dream, but I got into it and I'm now beginning to enjoy healthcare.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I think before we come into currently what you do and how
Yes.
you started, how the dream of St. Luke's came into being.
Yes.
And definitely you've been supportive
Yes,
to,
yes,
to
yes.
your to your spouse.
Yes.
Let's go as we finalize on your growing up and also connection to the current times.
Yes.
Do you think, what are the challenges that you went through in your upbringing and also to be where you are, before talking about your profession and what you're doing currently?
The challenges, as I was growing up, I don't want to say I had challenges. You know, during my time, we didn't have electricity. It was not a problem. Everybody did not have electricity. We didn't have shoes. Everybody did not have shoes. It was not a problem.
It was uniform.
It was uniform. And you had two dresses. One dress for going to church, and the other one was uniform. No other clothes. And we were very happy. What I could consider as a challenge then is things like vaccines. Vaccines were not there. We survived by the grace of God. To reach primary school, high school, it was just God. Many of my age mates died, but that's out of polio,
Health
issues, because the vaccines, most of the vaccines we got them when they were bigger. Not like you nowadays, where you go and vaccinate your baby, BCG, what. During my time, that one was not there.
Yeah.
We got them when we were in school. Yes.
Okay.
So I think those had the health issues. And then, of course, those days, hygiene was very poor. For example, when we used to sleep at my grandmother's, and then my grandmother kept goats and sheep. So you sleep in the same house with the sheep.
Under the same roof?
Yes, yes. When you wake up in the morning,
okay,
you find the sheep droppings on your clothes. And then
you dust and proceed,
yes, you proceed
like nothing happened.
Yes, and of course you go to school. But everybody was that way. So you would smell of goats, but nobody saw the difference.
Nobody could know that this one is an
issue. When I look back, it was a tough situation. But then at that time, it was just part of life.
It was part of life.
Yes, I didn't think it was a real challenge. What I could tell you is just about issues of health and hygiene. There were no toilets.
Okay.
People just went to the bush and that was it.
And that was final.
Yes, and of course there was a lot of disease outbreaks and measles. Many children died of measles in that time because there wasn't vaccines.
Okay. So let me take you back for some time. We are so conversant of also Professor Lele.
Yes.
We just want you to paint as we want to see you meeting with Professor Lele and your early days of you being a professional teacher. He was a doctor, I presume.
Yes, that time he was a student at the University of Nairobi. And he had just been newly posted to Nandi. And then we met. I had gone for games in Kapsabet Boys. And then I went to visit a friend. In that house he was there. And then that was it.
Ukapata daktari?
Nikapata daktari hapo. Nikafurahi. Mandabado nafurahi.
Okay.
Yes.
And so how was your early startups? Were you successful then? How did you grow to where you are?
Of course, that time he was still young. And then Professor is a firstborn.
Oh, okay.
So we had the responsibility. When you are a firstborn, you are actually an assistant parent.
Assistant parent.
Yes. So all the responsibilities of the parents come on you. So we had to bring up all his siblings, at least from number 3 up to the end.
Okay.
Bring them up, and then his father died earlier on when we're just hardly 5 years in marriage.
Okay.
his father died.
Was
So
he practicing?
yes, yes.
Okay.
But immediately after our wedding, he went to study in Nairobi,
Uh-huh.
went to do masters in surgery.
Uh-huh.
So when the kids were born, firstborn, he wasn't there, but the secondborn, he was there. He was supportive.
Okay.
But of course, we had a lot of challenges. You are newly married. You have extra responsibilities of his siblings and our parents. And then patients used to come to visit Lele. You know, when
Okay.
he was in Iten, he's
you are now in 10.
yes.
Okay.
And he
At that
he has
time,
a
he
heart
was
for people.
he was working.
He was a medical officer.
Okay.
Yes.
In 10.
Yes. Then from there, he proceeded to do masters in surgery.
And yourself, you are teaching at
Singore Girls.
At Singore Girls. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So while in Singore, there were so many patients who used to come even stay in my house.
Uh-huh.
And some of them had TB. At one time, I thought I had TB. I had a lot of pain, and I thought, now I have it. I think it was just some psychological fear. But somehow God kept us. We didn't get TB. The patients were treated. They went home. And I would ask the doctor, why do you allow this? Because he would treat the patients, he'll buy them drugs, give them transport to go home.
Okay.
And I would tell him, why are you doing all this? He said, do you know the blessings we have? It's because of these people.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Na hiyo wakati you were living in the staff quarters.
We were living in the staff quarters, and the water was very cold. There was no hot water then. And the way it is very cold.
And the eating is something else.
Yes, it's very cold. But
Okay.
we enjoyed ourselves. And then I said he proceeded to do masters in surgery. And then from there, he came back to work in Eldoret briefly. Then he went to South Africa to do his specialization in orthopedics in Cape Town.
Okay.
Yes, that time I'm in Moi Girls. As he proceeds to Cape Town, I was in Moi Girls.
Okay.
And then later on, now he said he wanted to do. He wanted to start a hospital.
Okay.
But before that, he had a clinic in town, in the town here, and then moved to Eldoret Hospital. And then we had the medics shop
Okay.
for selling implants. And from there, the shop grew. We used to just have a small shop.
Yes.
Then it grew, and eventually now, we got that piece of land, built St. Luke's. That is it. So St. Luke's is a daughter of orthomedics.
Oh, okay.
Yes, orthomedics might look small, but it's the mother of the big hospital.
Oh, the big hospital.
Yes, so that is how
you take. And at the end of the day, did you ever had a discussion with Daktari that in the near future we need to have a hospital?
No. In fact, I didn't even know what we were doing. I was just helping and moving on. I didn't think that
you are just playing your roles as
playing my role. Yes. Now, what I think later on, in fact, when I look back, I just did not imagine that it was going to be that big. We just began as a clinic, and I didn't think we were going to get into a big hospital business.
Okay.
Yes, but starting small is very important. The challenge with many people nowadays is that they want to, once they start a business, they want money now. It is painstaking. You have to take all your time, spend all your energy, and most importantly, pray that God gives you the leading to do the right thing.
Okay.
One of the biggest problems that we have with our current generation is integrity. When you are employed, you are looking at what is in there for me, not how you can improve. Yes.
How you can get the shortcut out of it.
Yes. So everybody is looking for an opportunity in employment, not to get the job. Once they get the job, they want to see how best they can go around the employer and then get more money.
And get something out of it.
Yes, it is not even, if you get as a shopkeeper now, if you are a shopkeeper and you employ as shop assistant, don't be surprised if you find him selling his goods in your shop. That is what we have.
That is what we currently have. Before going into integrity and how you handle your staff and everything,
yes,
because I understand you are a great employer in our region.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can say that just to go back to when you were in Moi Girls and what have you, people think that, because sometimes people see where you are, they think that is where you've been for like forever.
Yes.
And that is, you've never gone through challenges.
Yes.
Have you ever slept hungry? Daktari amewahi sema kabisa leo hapa hatuna shopping ya sukari.
Yes, I should go back to the time when now we had our firstborn. I think people need to know that where you are is not where you have been always.
Very true.
Now, when after the wedding, you know, we had to finance everything. By the time this idea of people have honeymoon going to Zanzibar, where do you go Zanzibar? There's no money. So there was no money.
So hata honeymoon nyia mkwenda?
Kuna hiyo. Ilikuwa ya mambo yenu ya siku hizi. That for us it was, even if we wanted, there was no money. So immediately I told you that when immediately we got married, I think after a few months he left to go to college. So by the time, and when I moved from Nandi to K.E.O. Marakwet, my salary was stopped. I don't know what happened. So you can imagine, I have children. I have Professor Lele's siblings, 2 of them. We're expecting our firstborn. There's no salary for me. He has gone to study. So you have milk. A milk supplier who wants money at the end of the month. So you have a milk supplier, you don't know how you will pay because you don't have a salary. The salary, he was earning 7,000, and that 7,000 was divided between fees for his siblings, for our upkeep and his upkeep in Nairobi, because my salary was not coming. So by the time my firstborn was born, I had 100 shillings. Only? Yes. And that 100 shillings, the government announced that maternity fees was going to be 80 shillings. Then I said, I'm done. And then for some reason, for some grace from somewhere, the president announced and said, we are reducing the maternity fee to 20 bob. 80 shillings is too much for someone. So that someone was me.
That was you?
Yes. So the 100 shillings, I paid the maternity fee 20, then I have 80 shillings.
80 shillings as balance.
For upkeep. So that was a struggle. So, and there was no way I was going to inform Professor that the baby has been born. There's no telephone. But he just arrived when the baby had just been born. He arrived, and then I was asking myself, how did he know? That was maybe telepathy, I don't know. So he comes, and then I had planned that after the baby is born, I would go the roadside like all rural mothers then, wait for a matatu and go home after the following day after delivery. But when he came, we were now given the hospital vehicle and then dropped in Singore. And then I had so many visitors, and you have a newborn baby, you were struggling, don't know how to pay for milk, pay for this, buy food. So those struggles were there, but nobody knew. We were just happy. Just happy and smiling and going to church, walking all the way from Singore to Iten, AIC.
By foot?
Yes, on foot. There was no vehicle. Even when we were living in the quarters in Iten, I used to walk 6 kilometers in the morning, 6 in the evening.
To Singore Girls?
Yes.
Morning, so you used to cover 12 kilometers per day?
12 kilometers per day. But I enjoyed it, and nobody knew that I was not earning a salary then. So I missed out a point. Now, when the baby was born, Lele decided to go to the education office in Iten. And then for some reason, the TSC had sent me 2,000 shillings on my account. And then
that was a miracle?
A miracle. So he came with the money, and I asked him how. I mean, those days you would even pick money for someone. I think that doesn't happen anymore. So he picked the 2,000, and you can imagine with that 100 shillings, another 2,000 comes. And that was it. So then you are talking about challenges. Now, when I was transferred now from Singore to Moi Girls.
To Moi Girls.
We did not want to leave because we were wondering where are we going to get a house? How are we going to pay rent? And Lele is in Nairobi, and I have his siblings. Our firstborn, we're expecting the secondborn. But eventually the TSC became very tough and said, must report in Moi Girls or interdict you.
So you had no option?
I had no option. I came to Moi Girls, looked for a servant's quarter. We were living in, I think it's called Kona Kubwa or what, in Kapsoya.
In Kapsoya.
Yes. So we were living in a servant's quarters somewhere there, behind, near Jehovah Witness Church.
Okay.
So we lived there, and in the servant's quarter, and we were just happy with everything. And then after a 2 months, we got a space in the school.
That is now the staff quarters?
It was actually a house within the dormitory.
Okay,
but
okay.
separate. I mean, you wouldn't access the dormitory, but it was a big room with sitting room, bathroom, kitchen. But every place was a bedroom.
Okay.
The sitting room was a bedroom, kitchen was a bedroom,
Uh-huh.
corridor was a bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And that's how we lived.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing the growth of just a normal couple that today we are seeing them great, but the foundation is very humbling. And at the end of the day, it shows that no matter where we are beginning from, the destiny is always great. That
Yes.
is something that we need to learn. And also, as much as we appreciate the fact that they have come, also we need to appreciate the determination, the struggle, and the zeal to be who they want to be. Ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you that remember to ask any question to our guest tonight, because at the end of the day, we'll try to answer a good number of questions. And also remember to share, because the more you share, the more the people will be part of this conversation. Now, taking us back to the point now, there is this transition. At some point, you are now a teacher at Moi Girls, and there is a point where you mentioned that you resigned from being a teacher.
Yes.
And ventured into business. Into business.
Yes.
What was the courage all about?
I want to say that when you live with somebody who has certain beliefs, you kind of get to, those beliefs become part of you. And I will tell you what the nurses would do when Dr. would perform surgeries in Eldoret Hospital or wherever. So the nurses assumed that I also know the medical procedures and the names. So they will say, tell professor there is a fractured femur in Eldoret Hospital. There is this. So I write all the names of all the medical conditions that he was needed to attend. So when he comes, I've written everything. Memorial has said there is a compound fracture in Medihill. There is dislocated something. So I would write down all those things until I got interested. So I would just.
So at that point, you are like an assistant doctor.
Assistant without portfolio.
Without portfolio.
Yes. So I would just assist in that way, and eventually I got to understand his way of operating things. So when I realized that it was going to be very difficult for him as a surgeon, practicing surgeon, to also manage the staff around. So I loved teaching. That is my passion. But I had to leave it to come and assist him. And so far, so good. I think I began to get into medical order and systems. And I want to say that the beauty about doing your own business is that when you are employed, you have to think and sleep like the employer. When I was in TSC, think like government, sleep like government, wake up like government. You don't have the freedom to think outside the box.
So you are controlled by that.
You are controlled by that. You can't think. You can't. Even if you had bright ideas, you can't manage because you have to go within a controlled system. But when you are doing your own business, you can guide the way you operate.
Very true.
And that's the beauty of your own business. Yes, you can arrange things in such a way that you can be systematic in doing whatever you want to do.
Okay.
You can decide to come to work at 10 o'clock. And not like in school where I had to come at 8, 6, and mean score and all this. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the idea of making people's lives better. I enjoyed my time as a teacher, and I really loved my job. But it comes a time when you have to think about yourself. And so that is how St. Luke's operates. We take care of our workers very well. I hope they are happy. I'm trying my best, or we are trying our best. We have a board of directors. We have management, and then we have heads of departments who manage the various sections. That is how we want to manage our staff.
Okay.
Yes.
But before Ms. Lele, we get there,
Yes.
the inception of St. Luke's.
Yes.
You say that we started as you started as orthomedics,
Yes, 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 yes.
and that is you had around how many staff members?
In orthomedics, there were two.
We need to get a picture of how St. Luke started.
There were just two.
Only two.
There were three. There was John, there's KD, and Naomi. There were three. Yes.
So that was only.
That was all the staff, and then Magdalene was in the clinic.
Okay.
These three were in the shop.
Okay.
Yes.
So at what point did you choose to because at that time you are still
yes,
a teacher.
while the orthopedics was on,
yeah,
and the clinic was on, I was still teaching at that time.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it that prompted you saw that this is now the right time for me to resign from profession and now venture and support St. Luke's to be where it is? Because there are a lot of people who sometimes fear to make that critical decision.
You have to be brave. In business, you have to be brave.
Uh-huh.
If you're not brave, you will not make a decision.
Very true.
So you have to be brave in such a way that you live, you walk into the unknown without expecting anything. If you are not brave enough, you will not make a decision. So for me, I knew I could get a salary from, if St. Luke's could pay me, then why do I have to have two salaries? Let me create a job for somebody else, thereby resigning and joining my private business. Why do you hold two jobs and disadvantage someone? Yes. When you leave this one, somebody gets employed, you go that way, get engaged in your own business.
Okay.
Yes.
So from that, we've seen tremendous growth in St. Luke's.
Yes, tremendous growth in the sense that when we started, we just transformed the clinic gradually. Okay. Eventually, it became the hospital. Because even the lady who was the receptionist to Professor Lele was the first employee in St. Luke's. And then from there, we gathered many other people. Yes, and we started off, there was no electricity. In fact, the first patients used candle lights because there was no electricity. Yes.
Okay.
And they insisted we were to be admitted, whether there is light or not, we will accept to be admitted. Just bring candle lights and gas lamps and treat us. All you want is to be treated.
Okay.
Yeah. So
now talk of now the management bit of it.
Yes.
Because a lot of business, either small or medium or big businesses, sometimes they come down within a twinkle of an eye. But it zeroes down to the issues with management. Yes. And as a show, we want also to inspire that business lady, that businessman outside there, that even if the business is small, you can manage it to grow, either to be like St. Luke's or even to surpass St. Luke's. In terms of management, what is it that you can attribute to?
As I said earlier on, first of all, be God-loving and trustworthy. And be trustworthy yourself. If you are not honest, your workers may not be honest. Yes. So if they realize you are giving bribes, they won't trust you. So one thing, you must be honest, live a life of integrity, and people will emulate you. And people will admire what you do. Secondly, you must trust your workers. Don't micromanage your workers. If you micromanage them, they get frustrated. For example, we have a chief nurse. What business do I have to go and harass a nurse? This patient has not been taken good care of. She will ask me, what do you mean good care? What can I do? I can't take care of the patient. I don't have the medical know-how. So I must trust the nurse to take care of the patient. Yes. And if any of the nurses have an issue, then I will ask the chief nurse. Patients are complaining, what is the problem? She will address those concerns. I cannot. Similar to the doctors, I cannot complain and say the patient has not been treated, daktari, and start harassing him. I go back to the clinical in charge, I mean the doctor in charge of that area, and they'll address that problem. So don't micromanage your employees, and trust them to do what they were trained to do. Yes.
So delegation works.
Delegation works. You can't manage everything. You can't do everything. You see, that the problem with us now, we begin thinking that everybody's going to be a thief soon. So how can you be procurement manager, finance manager, the doctor, the cleaner? You have to trust somebody to do that. Yes.
But now, considering that you are a big employer
Yes.
to some extent,
Yes.
what are the challenges that you face as an employer with
Challenge-
regard to staffing and also?
Challenges with as an employer. One, young people are restless. They'll stay here for 1 year, 2. They realize I can go to Australia, or nurses are required in Britain, in UK. It is a natural feeling, and they will leave. Or if MTRH advertises position for nurses, I can't compete with the government.
Definitely.
They will leave. They will go. Government has subsidies, I don't have. So, and they have better offers, so I can't keep them. So they will go. 2, issues of training, integrity. So you have to have CCTV cameras because somebody has stolen a mandazi here, somebody has stolen a sheet. So those are some of the things that we have, the challenges we have. Dishonesty is a big thing, and I'm sure it cuts across government, private sector. We have to have security checks at the gate, biometric, all this, because people are not trustworthy. Yes, those are big challenges. Yes, very big challenges.
So at the end of the day, as a nation and also as a community,
Yes.
and as a society,
Yes,
what do you think we can do to improve such kind of vices?
start from the family. You as young fathers and young mothers, bring up your children well. When you bring up good children, you are creating a good state, a good nation, a good world.
Very true.
It starts from the family.
Very true.
When the family values are broken down, that is, you get, that the result is that you get a corrupt society. Yes.
Thank you, Madam. At the end of the day, we are listening to Mrs. Lele, that is the CEO of St. Luke Hospital. And at the end of the day, what you are finding out is we are listening to a motherly advice to the young generation and also to us as a society. And before, at the end of the day, we'll speak about you as a mother and the role that you play in mentorship, because you mentioned something to do with mentorship.
Yes.
Do you offer mentorship?
Yes, I do. I hope by my lifestyle, I mentor people. I juggle a lot of things. I am in the church, I sing in the choir, and I am also a mother, I'm a grandmother. And I should remind you that since Professor was always busy, I had to juggle between parenting and motherhood, because many times he would not be in. In fact, one time my son asked, Dad, did you sleep in this house? When I wake up, you are not there. When I sleep, you have not come. Are you still in this house? So I had to make sure that things balance out, so that the kids don't feel his absence. And during parents' meeting, luckily, and I think by God's grace, all my daughters went to Moi Girls. So we are all here.
Okay.
Including myself, I also went to Moi Girls as a student, leave alone as a teacher. So during visiting days, it was easy to cook food, take them, visit my children. And then when we were just about to have lunch, I called Prof, come, now it's lunch, he arrives. And then, so the kids not feel his absence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So despite the busy schedule, you always created time for them?
Yes, he did create time for them. He did, yes. Yes, and they would also be adamant. When it is parent-teacher association groups, they'll insist, today we don't want mommy, dad must come. And being daughters, they had so much power over him, and they would come. Yes.
So beside the busy schedule, you are telling us that at the end of the day, make sure that you create time for family. Create
time for family, because especially for you young men, let me tell you, don't be absent from your children. The mama will go and create a different story when they go visiting the children. If your children are in school, be careful. When you are not able to visit the children and you are able to send money, I usually tell even my staff, the people who work with me, please make sure you create time for family. Don't just create time for St. Luke's, create time for your children. If your child is in high school and you are unable to go, you send the money, make sure you call and tell your daughter or your son, Daddy, I was not able to come, but here is 500 shillings I've sent through your mom. Otherwise, your wife will go and say, unajua huyu hafanyi kitu. Hata hii pesa nilitengeneza. So make sure
you're present.
You're present.
I think that is an advice to us as young fathers, that we also need to create time for our kids,
Yes.
despite the businesses and the profession that we are running.
Yes.
For those who are still streaming in, we are having Mrs. Lele, the deputy CEO
Yes.
of St. Luke's Hospital. And we are going for a break shortly. After the break, we will come and talk about now the other businesses, and also we are going to talk about the mentorship bit of it in terms of raising, because in Asian and Indian, we are seeing that they have a clear role in terms of children coming into business.
Yes,
and
yes.
mentoring them to be like who they are, or even more than who they are.
Yes,
So
yes.
after the break, we'll be coming and discussing about the same and more others. Please ensure that you share this show for somebody to know that you're watching. And also, let's stream in some questions so that our guest tonight can be in a position to answer, so that the show keeps going. Ladies and gentlemen, our show tonight is sponsored by Tattoo Business Center, or what you call Tattoo Car Wash. And they have come in handy if you have a car, and also if you're looking forward to own a car. Ensure that you visit them along Nandi Road, just before Medihill Hospital, for you to get good services when talk about engine wash, underwash, car wash, any kind of wash as far as your car is concerned. Ensure you visit them, and also tell them that you got this information from the CEO show. And if you're looking forward for future partnership, please reach out, that we can be in a position to work together and see that we inspire the current generation. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, viewers. This is the CEO show, and tonight we are having our guest is none other than Mrs. Lele, who is the Deputy CEO of St. Luke's Hospital. As we proceed, make sure that you drop your comment. If you have a question, please ask so that we can be in a position to answer as our show is ongoing. At the end of the day, we are always inspirational, insightful, and educative. Mrs. Lele,
Yes.
thank you for so far for the insights. People are really streaming in, and
Yes.
they are having a lot of questions. But now, as I had mentioned before we went to our break,
Yes.
there are the other businesses that we've seen a very clear kind of succession,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day we are not going to be there forever.
Yes, yes.
And the challenges that we find sometimes is you bring a very nice business, but tomorrow when you're not there, the business collapses. Tomorrow when you're not there, the business goes into shambles. And sometimes you find, especially in the current generation, you find that a young person has been left with a lot of property. Since the parents are not there, now they misuse and take very great advantage of it. But now you, at some point, you've seen and in where you're bringing your let's say your children and also your family. But number one, before we go into that, do you think St. Luke is a family business?
Yes, St. Luke's is a family business because we decided to have our children in the business for the same reasons you have said. That one time will come when you will not be able to do much or when you shall not be there. So when children are part and parcel of the company that you run, they will understand the challenges that you are going through and the investments and the profits that you realize. If they are not there, they think the money is endless and they wait for you to die so that they can get these millions. Little do they know that possibly these millions are just part of loans. So it is good when they are part of the program. Of course, as they come in, they'll make many mistakes. And,
Very true.
And people will tell you now, why you bring the children, you are spoiling them. You know, they will do this, they will do the other. But even from those mistakes that they make, they learn. Yes.
Okay.
And they will protect the business because they know it is about them. They'll protect, just like the Asians do. So this model that we have is for the children to be part of this. They also earn a salary like everybody else. They have allowances like everybody else. If we are sitting in board meetings, they have sitting allowance like everybody else. And they must earn their salary, all the deductions, NSSF, NHIF, all the statutories. They also go through like all other employees.
How do you draw the line now between the mom and now the boss?
The mom and the boss, the two sides can collide, yes. There are times there is the mom part and there's the boss part. The mom part is where you reprimand them outside the business, of course. And we have family meetings once a week to discuss what went wrong, what did not go wrong, how can we improve this, how can we change this. And we try as much as possible to create a very good atmosphere for the workers.
Okay.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, as a mom and also as a parent,
Yes.
that is, at the end of the day, are you supporting, do you get to a point where you want to support your child to have his or her own business on the sideline?
Of course, like our firstborn is one of our directors, but at the same time, she has her own private practice within the same.
Okay.
Yes, but she runs her, she's a dental surgeon, so she does her business.
So that bring now the nature of being a supportive parent.
Yes.
And sometimes you find that there are some scenarios that you get a child or this is a young person who has just been employed or he has started a small business, but now he has like a million responsibilities, both from being like an assistant parent and till at the end of the day you find that it becomes a challenge to maintain or contain the business that he's doing or the profession that he's doing. What can you say to our parents?
Very good. I want to say this. I'll go back to my own personal story when I was growing up. My father was very supportive, and my mother, they really supported me. When I got employed, I didn't have responsibilities. The money was all mine. I would choose to buy for my siblings something, some dress, or give them pocket money out of my own choice. Now, that was the age group of my father and slightly younger. Now, the present generation, people in their 60s, are still able to work. And 60s and 50s, they are still able to work. Now, parents out there, please don't hang on your children until they are unable to function and earn money for themselves. I have seen parents, actually, I have seen children who have become parents of parents. Yes. They are parents of parents. They themselves are children, but they are parenting their own parents. Because once they get a job, be it even an internship job, earning 20,000, they begin educating their siblings, paying medical bills for the mother, for this. I think it is not fair for the young people who are actually struggling in businesses. Let them grow. When will they ever earn their own good money? And as I've said, if you are a parent and you are healthy and you have a piece of land, please take care of the rest of the other children. Those are your responsibilities. Don't hang on your children until they are unable to move. I'll give you an example of children who are in Australia, in Canada. They are unable to move. The parents don't know what struggles those kids are going through. They have to keep 3 jobs to pay fees, pay rent, pay for their upkeep, and still send money home for the parents, even for chama, you know? And that's not fair. So I urge parents, when your children have small businesses, they want to, even though they are employed by government, let them grow, let them have their own money. Not unless, of course, you are sick. When people are sick, there's nothing we can do. We have to take care of them. But parents in the 60s, in their 50s, 40s, you are still young enough to work hard. Your children, the other children, are the responsibility of the parent, not of the children. Yes.
So at the end of the day, you have to gauge this child to see if they can run their own business, if they can. So where, as a parent,
yes,
at what point can you draw the line that you're mentioning, that you don't want to overburden this child?
Yes.
And also, there is that responsibility of a child to also take care of the parent.
Yes, I have not said the child should not take care of their parent. They should. But I'm saying, you can imagine a 20-year-old or 23-year-old who has just graduated from university. Has got a job. He has a sibling in PP1, PP2. He's just earning 20,000. You want him to pay fees for all these others. What will you do as a parent yourself? Now, as the parent, what is your role? Yeah.
So you have to come in and
plan. As a parent now, plan for the children that you have, so that you don't burden your older children. Yes.
Okay, so that also goes directly to, because we are also looking forward to motivate and also inspire this young generation.
Yes,
they need to plan for their future.
Yes.
That is what it means.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're talking something to do with the parent, and also having your mentoring your children. Before talking now into mentorship to the young generation.
Yes.
Because you find that we are growing a very delicate generation.
Yes.
And at some point we feel that they are very fragile, for that matter.
Yes.
Because sometimes you find that there is this young parent, or there is this parent who leaves the kiosk hapo, anaachia huyu mtoto yake a very let's say in high school or what have you.
Yes.
So you find that at the end of the day, they break the honesty, which you had mentioned before.
Yes.
They break the trust.
Yes.
But now you are here. How did you manage to? Because it means that you involved them as young as they were in high school at some point.
Yes.
How do you? Because as a young person, there are these challenges that they are going through. How do you mentor them to be in a position to take up bigger roles, which
now,
I believe?
Be honest to yourself as a parent. I can tell you that when I was in Moi Girls, I think that is the school I served the longest. students would send me for things from town, maybe biscuits, maybe bread, maybe what. So, and maybe I would have 5 children who have sent me to buy things for them in the town. So what I did was, that time there were plastic paper bags. I would buy for every child whatever they have asked for, get their receipt, get their change, put in the bag with the shopping. So if there were 5 children, there'll be 5 paper bags with the 5 receipts and the balance of the money that they had given me. So when I go back, I say, this is so and so, this is your shopping, so and so, this is your shopping. And then they will count, they'll see the receipt and the balance, and they are happy. So my children saw that. So when I send them to town, they go and do the same thing. Go and buy for me things, put in the paper bag, put the change inside and the receipt the way I did for the school children. I realized it was a virtue that I was passing on to them. So much so that even when I send my children to go to the ATM to withdraw for me some money, they will withdraw and bring me the receipt. And they withdraw exactly what I asked them to. So you have to be honest yourself as a parent for your children to learn the honesty. They will not, children don't learn from what you tell them. They learn from what you do.
Somebody say that monkey see, monkey do.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they see what you do and,
Yes.
they practice.
Yes.
It's not even about what you say.
No, it is about what you do, not what you say.
Not what you say.
Yes.
Okay. So now we had mentioned something to do. You are a busy lady for that matter.
Yes.
But now there is what we call now work-life balance.
Yes.
How do you balance all these?
First of all, I'm a mother, as I said. I run a home. I still do my house business like all mothers across the country. So I have made sure I don't come too early to work unless there is a board meeting or there's a management meeting or another meeting. Because the management will do the operations, and then my children also will come a little earlier. And professor, of course, as early as possible. Usually he comes at 6, 6:30 or even earlier, sometimes 5. So I remain at home and report to work around 10, so that I ensure that at least the home runs. Otherwise, your home will become a foreign place. Somebody else will own the house, not you. So you make sure that things are in the right place. You have the right shopping. You have everything. The compound is well done. I'm a very astute lover of flowers and garden and nature. So I must make sure my garden is nice. Flowers are doing well. Vegetables, cows, goats, sheep, turkeys, whatever, name them, chicken, peacocks. I make sure they are all of them are well done, the shamba and everything. So I come to work, and then from there now, when I come to work, I do the rest of the things for the day. I also make sure that on Friday, my work ends on Friday. I still retain my teacher training program. Work ends on Friday. Saturday is my day. Sunday is my day. Saturday I go for my choir practice. Sunday I go for service. Tuesday I go for my Bible study. Like today I was supposed to have one, but because of this show I'm not there. So that is what I do. So I make sure that if there are ushirika meetings, I go for them. If we have weddings and all these celebrations, you should never get out of the social aspect of life. When people have chai, they have koito, they have all these, make sure funerals, be part of them, because that is the society that we live in. Be part of people.
Be part of people.
Yes.
Okay, and it shows that it also means something to your social life.
Yes.
That is because sometimes you find that a lot of people are going through challenges.
Yes.
There are some who are going through depression, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
But since they don't have anybody close to share to, they don't have the social life that you're talking about.
Yes.
Or sometimes you find that somebody is social, but they are suffering. They are suffering inside.
Yes.
And due to the current economic times that we are in,
Yes.
you find that there is somebody who is running a small business, but they are not in a position to meet their financial obligation.
Yes.
So it means that the social, how is it connected?
There's what we call psychosocial support. Very important. Even while in employment. And I always tell people, whether you are employed in the private sector or in government, keep abreast with what is happening in the community. I think when if you go to the rural areas, you realize you really have some of these mental breakdowns in the village. Reason because when young women go to wash clothes by the stream or by the tap, the communal tap, they talk. And while there, they diffuse their attention. This one says, my husband beat me. This one says, oh, only that one. For me, this was the situation. My children did this. My child drinks, says, only that one. Mine takes bangi. So all these things are shared. At the end of it, all people are happy. But what is happening in the urban setup is we have become a closed community. Maybe in Eldoret it may not be so much, but Nairobi, people are living in very enclosed areas where they really socialize. They socialize. And because of that, stress comes in. Stress comes in because of that individualistic life that we have. We have established and we have decided to have. But Africans and Asians are the most social people in the world. But what is happening now, Africans are tending towards the European way of doing things. And then that's when we have depression, stress, all this. But the society has a way of diffusing that tension. That's why I said, don't get, even if you are doing your small business, and on Friday there is a funeral in the neighborhood, please be there. They need your support just as you need them someday. Your neighbor has a birthday party, all those, you call them baby reveal, whatever you call them, those are social functions that will help you. In our time, of course, those ones were not there, but it is a social setup that helps people to fight depression.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you have sleepless nights.
Of course.
Running such a big company.
Yes and no. For some reason, if I go to bed, sleep at 9, wake up at 5. Yes, whether there were problems or no problems, God has given me that peace.
Okay.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you have to wake up to a new day.
A new day.
Very important.
What I can tell you as young people who are struggling in business,